want to start off. If anybody would tell you that the secret to riches is in this little box or in eight little like a charity box, you would probably think they're completely crazy. This past week, I was learning with my daughter. We learn every Shabbos. It's called Pirkei Avos. They actually have a really nice book by Art Scroll. Um, it has like pictures inside. It's really cute. It has like all these fun descriptions, and it's in English, and it's has like kind of like pictures of the personalities who are described in the Pirkei Avos. So I was learning with her the subject of you know of becoming wealthy and staying wealthy and feeling wealthy. So I first want to start off with a story. We went to Orlando this past Pesach, and um, we had our food shipped from Brooklyn in boxes in a freezer truck to Orlando. And the way it was kind of set up was that it was going to be shipped to this warehouse somewhere in Orlando, like I don't know, some freezer warehouse. And from there, they called us that we should come get the boxes. When we arrived there, there was like hundreds and hundreds of boxes scattered around inside this huge room that was like negative, 10 degrees, freezing. And they basically told us to start looking for our own boxes amongst these huge pallets. So my son tells me, he's like, this is going to take forever. We're waiting there a little bit for like 20, 30 minutes, and there was no movement. So I couldn't find it, and I was trying to get some help from one of the workers there. So he tells me, he's like, why don't we do the 18 cents to Rameir Balanes? And what that is basically just donating, like, promising to donate money to a charity, in the memory of this very righteous Jew who lived many, many years ago, who said that if somebody donates money in his name, uh, in heaven, he will intercede on their behalf and help them. So my son's like, well, I don't have 18 cents in my pocket, but he tells me, he's like, if you're willing to contribute the 18 cents, I'm sure we will find our boxes very quickly. So he said, so I told him, I said, I'll cover the 18 cents. And he said, okay, so we're going to give 18 cents to Rameir Balanes, to this charity, in his memory, and we will find the boxes. Within like a minute, the worker, comes out and says, oh, I found your boxes. And then 2 minutes later, we found the other boxes. We had 21 boxes, all scattered. We found all of them, packed them into the car, and we headed home. So the concept that kind of this touches upon, um, is the concept of charity. And it says in the Torah that, it quotes a verse, a pasuk that says, um, "Aser to aser," you should surely give a tenth. It's called full zarefa, all your wheat, hayotza shana, which is brought forth in the field year by year, every year. So the commentaries are wondering why it says double a double language of aser to aser, which means you should surely. It basically means tithe, tithe. You should surely tithe. So the question is, why is it so important to say it twice? So it's not really the way you speak. The way you speak is, aser is called to asarefa, just give a tithe from your possessions. So the commentaries, not all, a lot of them talk about this concept, and it brings it from a Talmud that, it's aser. You read it aser bishvil shetasasher. You give meiser so that you should become wealthy. It's like a play of words. Aser means tithe, but also the root of the word could also mean wealth. So if a person gives a tenth of their income, they will surely be wealthy, and it's a guarantee. And many different commentaries talk about this, that a person, like it says, one may not. It's brought down, and actually it's codified in the halachos, which is like a rule, like the rules, and the there's a four books of of laws. So one of them says that a person may not test. He brings from one of the commentaries that a person may not test God. A person shouldn't say to God, if I do this, this will, then this should happen. However, when it comes to giving charity, a person is allowed to say to God, I'm giving charity so that this should work out well. And it's kind of the idea that, when we see a direct result, like most of the other commandments that we do, and like any other type of commandment, we don't necessarily see the outcome of it. And we're not supposed to test God to see the outcome of it. Like, we're not going to say, oh, if I'm going to be nice to my parents, then I shall live long. Like, we can't make those type of deals with God. But when it comes to financial charity, we are allowed to test God, and we are allowed to say to God, I need a favor from you. I'm going to give charity in your favor. I'm going to give charity, and please make it work well and work out good. So I want to kind of go back to what I was learning with my daughter, and this is kind of the topic today. There's a couple of different parts of this. It's 7 paragraphs long. I'm sorry, 7 chapters long. I apologize. It's 6 chapters long. It's 6 chapters long, and it talks a lot about its life ethics. It's called Pirkei Avos, life ethics. It really means like the ethics of the fathers, which means our generational ethics. So it talks a lot about the ethics of life, and it mentions in a couple places the idea of financial success, which is a very important subject. To us Jews, religious Jews who might have big families and high expenses, so it's important for us to be wealthy. It's kind of a necessity. But he brings over here from Nechunah ben Akana, who was a scholar, and he says it very openly that whoever, I'll read it in English, whoever accepts upon himself the yoke of learning Torah will not be burdened with the yoke of government or the pressure of earning a living. And whoever does not accept the yoke of learning Torah will have to bear the yoke of government and the pressure of earning a living. So he says a very the positive and the negative. He doesn't just say, whoever accepts upon himself the yoke of learning Torah will not be burdened with the yoke of government or the pressure of earning a living. He says both the positive, that one does not accept. One does accept, then he will not have the burdens of earning a living. Or if he does not accept, then he will have. He's making a very strong statement about, and the kind of it's self-explanatory, is that one who involves himself with Torah and mitzvos, then God will take care of the rest. And we see, so to speak, a financial, like the connection between being a dedicated Jew and an observant Jew to the idea of being financially successful is he doesn't have to worry about making money, meaning the money is going to come by itself. Things do cost money, so the money has to come from somewhere, but he's not going to be burdened with it. It's going to come easy to him. And then obviously, once a person has the money, how to view it, because people could be worth millions and millions of dollars and they are not happy at all. If anything, they're very depressed. So over here he brings in chapter 4, Benzoma Omer. Benzoma was the reason they call him Benzoma, and his full name was Yeshua Benzoma, Yeshua the son of Zoma. The reason they just call him the son of Zoma was because he was very young, and he was very scholarly, but he was very young. He passed away young, actually, but he was very wise. He was considered, him and Ben Azai, kind of confusing, Ben Zoma and Ben Azai, but they were contemporaries, and they both were students of the same rabbi. So Ben Zoma says that Ezu Chacham, who is a wise person, Halomin B'Kal Adam, a person that learns from every other human being, not just not just an older human being, but even a younger human being. If he learns from them, then he's considered a wise person. And it's so interesting just to kind of side point a little bit, talk a little bit, get off a tangent over here. I was talking, I'm doing healthcare for a very long time, and I was talking to somebody the other day who like just started healthcare, and they had such good ideas, really had such good ideas how to implement, different marketing strategies and different ideas like 2021 ideas. So it's very important to always learn from other people. Also, Ezu Giver, who's a strong person. Kovic is a person that conquers his bad inclination. We sometimes, as young people or as we get older, we get stuck in our ways. And a person that battles with himself and conquers his bad, character traits, that is a person that is strong. And also Ezu Usher, who's a rich person, Hasameth B'chalka, a person who is happy with what he has. So, if a person makes millions and millions of dollars but is never happy, then obviously he's not rich, because the point of being rich is, to be able to support himself and to study Torah. But if he's not happy, then the point of the riches is also, pointless. But besides for that, just a person, even simply a person will not feel rich if they are never happy with what they have, and they're always looking for the next, the next big thing that will make them happy. So we kind of have this like dual idea of a person, they want to be financially successful, and by giving charity and spending time studying, that will help them achieve that financial success. But even when a person achieves that financial success, he needs to feel happy with what he has and not say, oh, if I had another, $100,000 or $1,000,000, whatever it is, I'll be happy. The person should be happy with what he has, because that's what God wants him to have, and that's really, he's rich if a person feels that even with the smallest toy or whatever it is that they have, they're happy. They feel like they have everything. But a person who doesn't feel the happiness doesn't feel that they have anything. So those kind of ideas I wanted to share. Looking forward to seeing you next week, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.